Hey guys, so in today's video, we are going to talk about Solo Leveling Season 2, Episode 8. At the beginning of the story, Jinwoo finally gets his S-rank license and officially becomes South Korea's 10th S-rank hunter. His recognition spreads everywhere, meaning Jinwoo was all over the newspapers, and everyone got to know about him. Even Woo Jinchul tried to recruit Jinwoo into his guild but failed. However, after that, Woo Jinchul's father was ready to make him the guild master without any hesitation. But this time, Woo Jinchul himself rejected the offer and told his father that he was going to work with Jinwoo instead. After this, Jinwoo had to go to the demon castle again, and this time, he wanted to be fully prepared. That's why he went to buy a fire resistance armor to protect himself from fire, along with other necessary items. Meanwhile, Woo Jinchul went to stay at Jinwoo's house, and Jinwoo even gave him permission to stay there. This was because Woo Jinchul's father had kicked him out of the house. Then, Jinwoo heads to the demon castle, where he clears the floors effortlessly. This was because Tusk was insanely powerful. He had been given a magical arc, making him even stronger. While Jinwoo continues clearing floors, we also learn that Woo Jinchul's father has a rare disease. This disease is caused by the side effects of being a hunter. It happens due to the mana inside hunters, which normal humans are not able to withstand. This disease eventually puts the affected person into a coma. When Woo Jinchul's father finds out about this, he is completely shocked. Meanwhile, Jinwoo easily reaches the 9th floor. However, he is not allowed to proceed further because he doesn't have a permit. Suddenly, his shadow army starts dying one by one. That's when Jinwoo realizes that the demon knights are on this floor, and they are far more powerful than expected. But despite this, Jinwoo manages to handle all the knights with ease. Finally, he faces the demon knight boss, who turns out to be incredibly terrifying. Seeing this, Jinwoo smirks and says, "So demons feel fear too." And with that, we move on to the next part. And with that, I have one more request for all of you. Normally, I wouldn't ask, but today, I am because you guys always support me without even being asked. So please, I request all of you to subscribe to the channel and help us to gain subscribers as soon as possible. I know that if you all subscribe, we'll hit the goal in no time. Many people watch the videos, but only a few actually subscribe. So please, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Now, let's start the video. Jinwoo had reached the 90th floor, where the monsters were far stronger than before. Since he had increased his stats, his mana was depleting rapidly due to his high usage. Meanwhile, he had now reached level 90. Later, Jinwoo finally arrived at the 97th floor. Seeing his overwhelming power, even Essel was left in complete shock. At this point, Essel turned to Jinwoo and asked, "Sir, are all humans as strong as you?" Jinwoo replied, "I don't know about everyone, but I do know 2 humans who are." At this moment, Jinwoo was thinking about Chairman Go Gunhee and Choi Jong-in. Jinwoo had already realized that compared to normal S-rank hunters, Go Gunhee and Choi Jong-in were far more powerful. Choi Jong-in, the leader of the Hunters Guild, was strong, but Go Gunhee was on an entirely different level. Jinwoo also started thinking about how S-rank hunters have varying power levels. Since an S-rank hunter's mana cannot be measured, they are all categorized under the same rank. However, in reality, some S-rank hunters are far stronger than others. He then recalled that the last time he met Chairman Go Gunhee, their strength felt somewhat equal. But now, Jinwoo thought, he must have gotten even stronger. At that moment, Jinwoo turned to Essel and said, "If you want to go back down, you can." Hearing this, Essel lowers her head slightly and says in a sad voice, "Jinwoo sir, does this mean I am of no use to you?" Jinwoo immediately shakes his head and replies, "No, that's not true at all. You've helped me a lot." However, Essel still looks a bit down. After a moment, she looks up at Jinwoo and says, "I want to continue with you, sir. I want to see if you can really reach the 100th floor or not." Jinwoo nods and prepares to move to the next floor along with Essel. The scene shifts to the international airport, where a top-ranked Japanese hunter arrives alongside his assistant. This hunter is Go-Teruji. As he walks through the airport, he suddenly feels something strange. A powerful presence lingers nearby, though he can't quite pinpoint its exact location. However, he brushes off the thought and continues walking. Soon, a representative from the Korean Hunter Association arrives to pick him up. After this, they all head towards the Korean Hunter Association headquarters. At this moment, Go-Teruji and Chairman Go Gunhee stand face to face. Chairman Go Gunhee is well aware that Go-Teruji is an exceptionally powerful hunter, though he is not the strongest in the world. In Japan, there are a total of 21 S-rank hunters, but interestingly, 11 of them belong to a single guild, the Blades Guild, the strongest guild in Japan. Unlike South Korea, which has multiple strong guilds maintaining a balance, Japan's power is highly concentrated in a single guild. Because of this, the Blades Guild holds immense influence, practically controlling Japan's hunter landscape. This makes Japan the second most powerful hunter nation in the world, just behind China, whose Pure World Guild is ranked number 1. Go-To Ruji's assistant, a woman with a sharp and professional demeanor, immediately gets to the point. Japan will officially assist South Korea in reclaiming Jeju Island. Go-To then speaks up, saying he won't waste the chairman's time and suggests establishing a unified guild with the top hunters from both Korea and Japan. Hearing this, Chairman Go Gun-hee is visibly surprised. He responds, acknowledging Japan's powerful hunters, but expressing concern that launching a direct assault on Jeju Island is incredibly risky. However, Go-To Ruji reassures Chairman Go Gun-hee that there is nothing to worry about as he has already planned everything in advance. His assistant then presents several key documents, laying out their strategy in detail. Go-To explains that each ant monster is as strong as a high-level hunter, but they have one major weakness, their lifespan. They can only survive for about a year. In other words, if they defeat the Ant Queen, all the ant monsters will die within a year, making her elimination the key to victory. Chairman Go Gun-hee, after listening carefully, responds that the plan sounds solid but reminds Go-To that ants will do anything to protect their queen. Go-To nods and agrees, stating that if they can force the ants out of the nest, defeating them will become much easier. Go-To recalls that this kind of incident has happened 2 or 3 times before. The last time South Korean hunters raided the island, the ant monsters swarmed outside and engaged them in battle. Hearing this, many members of the South Korean Hunter Association are left stunned by the information. Go-To then lays out the final plan. Japan will send 10 S-rank hunters, including himself, to assist in the raid. The Japanese hunters will act as a distraction, keeping the ant monsters busy, while the Korean hunters will infiltrate the nest and eliminate the queen. The moment the queen is slain, all hunters will immediately evacuate via helicopters, before the ant monsters can retaliate. Chairman Go Gun-hee saw the merits of the plan, but he couldn't understand why Go-To was so eager to help. Soon, he realized Go-To's true goal. He wanted the title of a national-level hunter. If Go-To achieved this, it would be a huge accomplishment for Japan. Despite the enticing offer, the chairman was still uncertain. Korea had only 8 remaining S-rank hunters. Among them, he himself was old, and Min Byung-gu had already retired. Could just 6 S-rank hunters really win this battle? More importantly, could they even defeat the Ant Queen? At that moment, Chairman Go Gun-hee thought of Jinwoo, the hunter who had single-handedly cleared an A-rank dungeon. If Jinwoo participated in the raid, their chances of success would increase dramatically. Finally, the chairman made his decision. He agreed to Go-To's proposal. Meanwhile, back in the Demon Castle, Jinwoo continued his climb. His level had now reached 93, and he was getting closer to the 100th floor, the ultimate challenge that awaited him. And there, he was about to face the Demon King. In the sky above, a massive dragon appeared, exuding an overwhelming presence. Standing atop the dragon in an incredibly badass manner was the Demon King himself. Jinwoo could feel the sheer intensity of his aura, realizing that this opponent was truly dangerous. Jinwoo literally thought to himself, can I even defeat this guy or not? Meanwhile, Essel was absolutely terrified just by looking at Baron with her own eyes. Until now, Jinwoo had only fought against demons, but seeing a dragon before him left him completely shocked. He wondered, if this dragon isn't a demon, then maybe I can extract its shadow, and with that thought, he made up his mind, he would go all out in this battle. After that, Baron raised his sword and activated his skill, Hell's Army. The moment he did, countless demon soldiers appeared, each of them at least A rank in strength. Seeing this, Essel became even more terrified. The demon army immediately charged toward Jinwoo, ready to kill him. But Jinwoo calmly told Essel to stay still and not panic. As soon as the demons entered his range, Jinwoo activated Monarch's domain, unleashing his overwhelming presence. Then, he summoned his shadow army, and the battlefield turned into pure chaos. Jinwoo's shadow soldiers clashed with the demon army, and despite the demon's strength, the shadow soldiers easily cut through them one by one. The war raged on, and the scene was nothing short of spectacular. And the mages of the shadow army launched fire attacks on the battlefield, setting everything ablaze. Jinwoo's mages had grown even more powerful, and watching this scene sent shivers down Easel's spine. But Baron, sitting comfortably on his dragon, was watching everything with amusement. completely unfazed by the destruction unfolding below. Essel was thinking whose side she was truly on. Am I on the demon's side or on Jinwoo's side? The thought troubled her deeply. Then suddenly, Baron launched his first attack, and it wasn't just any attack. When he struck the ground with his lightning, a large number of Jinwoo's shadow soldiers were instantly annihilated. The attack was going to hit Essel, but even then, Jinwoo saved her just in time. That was when Jinwoo realized this attack was no joke. If that lightning had hit him directly, his entire shadow army would have been wiped out in an instant. Determined to bring Baron down, Jinwoo decided to attack the dragon first. But before he could act, several demons intercepted him, landing a brutal hit that sent him flying across the battlefield. And before he could recover, Baron unleashed another devastating lightning attack, aiming straight for Jinwoo. But just before it could hit, Jinwoo narrowly dodged it. However, Baron didn't stop. He kept launching relentless cold attacks, forcing Jinwoo to continuously dodge and evade. Then, all of a sudden, a powerful stream of flames burst forth, colliding with the lightning attack and neutralizing it completely. The one responsible for this was none other than Tusk. Without holding back, Tusk unleashed his full power, engaging Baron in a fierce battle that was evenly matched. But then, Tusk made a clever move. Instead of continuing his direct battle with Baron, he redirected his attack straight at the dragon, forcing it to crash down to the ground. Seeing this, Jinwoo thought, good thing I gave Tusk a magic core stone. Otherwise, defending this attack right now would have been a real headache. With the dragon finally grounded, its fight was nearing its end. And now, Jinwoo had the perfect opportunity for a face-to-face battle with Baron. Looking at him, Jinwoo smirked and said, finally, man, you actually came down. My neck was starting to hurt from looking up so much. At that moment, Baron looked incredibly intimidating, a true final boss. Then, we are reminded that Jinwoo possesses certain skills that don't require mana to activate, like Commander's Touch, making him even more dangerous in battle. This skill allows him to relocate any summoned creature from one place to another. However, there's a catch: the summoned creature must be within a certain weight limit. If Jinwoo wanted to use this skill on a heavier summon, his level would need to match or exceed that of the summon. Additionally, he can store shadows in his shadow preservation and summon them without using any mana. However, if his shadows are destroyed, then he must spend mana to revive them. This is why leveling up is so crucial for Jinwoo. It increases his mana capacity. As he thought about this, a question crossed his mind. If the demon army gets wiped out, will they regenerate too? If so, that could be a real problem. Jinwoo continued analyzing the situation. If Baron could regenerate his army, it would put serious strain on Jinwoo's mana, forcing him into an endurance battle. Meanwhile, Baron suddenly shifted his focus to Tusk and unleashed a devastating thunder attack. The sheer power behind it was terrifying. But just before it could land, Tusk used his protection skill, but literally, the Demon King cut through it effortlessly. At that moment, Jinwoo's mana dropped below 2,000. Summoning soldiers like Tusk required a significant amount of mana, and if Jinwoo wanted to win this battle, he had to summon high-level soldiers. Following this, Jinwoo regenerated Iron, and this time, Iron had a weapon in his hands. However, the Demon King immediately attacked him. Without any effort, he crushed Iron on the battlefield, ending his role instantly. At that moment, Igris launched a surprise attack from behind, striking at the Demon King with his sword. But Baron, with just one hand, stopped Igris's sword with ease. Baron then unleashed a powerful attack on Igris, and with just one strike, Igris was also taken down on the battlefield. Seeing this, Jinwoo immediately activated his critical attack and directly targeted Baron. At that moment, the Demon King blocked Jinwoo's dagger with his sword, stopping his attack completely. But then, Baron suddenly grabbed Jinwoo by the neck, tightening his grip as if he was about to end him right there. However, Jinwoo quickly summoned Igris and Tusk once again. The two of them together managed to hold on to Baron's sword, preventing him from attacking further. Seizing the opportunity, Jinwoo used both of his daggers and slashed directly at Baron's arm. This enraged Baron immensely. He let out a furious roar, and immediately, the entire battlefield was engulfed in flashing lightning. The intense electric energy caused Jinwoo's shadows to weaken significantly. At this point, the Demon King wielded both of his swords and prepared for an intense clash, while Jinwoo gripped both of his daggers tightly, ready to counter any attack. Jinwoo attempted to block Baron's sword strikes using one of his daggers, but the Demon King was relentless. With precise timing, Jinwoo launched a critical attack, forcing Baron to step back for a moment. The battle became an all-out competition with both fighters exchanging powerful blows. The intensity was clearly visible, lightning flashed, weapons clashed, and the battlefield shook. But then, Baron unleashed another devastating thunder attack. Jinwoo immediately sensed danger, knowing that if he got hit at this range, it could be the end for him. He desperately tried to block the attack with his daggers, managing to stop most of it, but the sheer force was overwhelming. As a result, both of his daggers were knocked out of his hands, falling to the ground. Baron took advantage of the opening and launched a direct attack on Jinwoo. But Jinwoo reacted instantly, grabbing both of Baron's hands, locking him in place. However, just as Baron was about to unleash another devastating thunder attack, a sudden projectile, a spear, came flying out of nowhere and struck him. The Demon King was stunned, completely caught off guard. Who had thrown the spear? He turned in shock, only to see Essel standing there, having made a desperate move to aid Jinwoo. This unexpected interference gave Jinwoo a critical second to act. Using Commander's touch, he pulls his hand very forcefully. The impact was so powerful that Baron's arm was severed from his body. Without hesitation, Jinwoo rushed toward the Demon King and delivered a single, devastating super punch. The force was so immense that Baron's head was cleanly separated from his body, instantly ending the battle. A moment of stunned silence followed. Even the system itself acknowledged the victory, displaying a notification confirming that Jinwoo had defeated the Demon King. Jinwoo then tells Essel to go and inform her father that the strongest ruler in this dungeon is now him. Both Jinwoo and Azazel start smiling, feeling victorious. Finally, Jinwoo reaches level 97. Afterward, Jinwoo's shadows begin collecting all the remaining magic stones and items from the battlefield. Jinwoo acquires several valuable items, including rings, swords, and daggers. However, the most important item is the Demon King's purified blood, which was the main reason Jinwoo came here. Jinwoo then puts on a special ring, which turns out to be an S-rank item, instantly increasing his stats by plus 20. After that, Jinwoo is advised to wear earrings and a necklace, which would further enhance his stats. Finally, Jinwoo begins the process of crafting the elixir. Meanwhile, someone calls out to Jinwoo from behind, but he is too focused to pay attention. As the ingredients start mixing, a countdown begins. 4, 3, 2, 1. At that moment, Jinwoo realizes that the success rate of this process entirely depends on his intelligence stat. Starts thinking, if I had known about this earlier, I would have increased my stats even more. Despite this, the process is successfully completed, and Jinwoo now possesses 6 holy water of life potions. Out of the 3 main ingredients used, some were partially consumed, while one ingredient was completely depleted. Jinwoo realizes that if he manages to obtain that missing ingredient again, he could create another batch of holy water of life. This was an S-rank elixir, capable of curing any illness instantly. Afterward, Iron returns, carrying the body of the Demon King's dragon, which surprises everyone. Jinwoo praises Iron, impressed by his achievement, and then finally commands, "Arise." Everyone watches in shock and disbelief as the dragon transforms into a shadow soldier. Jinwoo is then asked to name his new shadow, and he chooses the name Kaiser. Essel excitedly exclaims, "With Kaiser, we can reach our clan much faster." Jinwoo, however, starts wondering, do we really have to go down one by one? That would be really difficult. Azazel reassures him, saying, once we return, we will have a huge celebration. My father will be thrilled when he hears the good news. Jinwoo then receives multiple rewards, including the prestigious title of Demon Slayer. Additionally, he acquires a new skill, Shadow Exchange, which allows him to switch places with any of his shadow soldiers. This ability was limited to just 1 shadows at a time. Jinwoo finally realizes that he can now teleport and prepares to leave. However, he turns to Essel and says, "I'm sorry, but you'll have to go back on your own." Essel tries to say something, but before she can respond, Jinwoo vanishes instantly, using his new skill. He reappears near his neighborhood, arriving close to his home. However, he realizes that his new skill, Shadow Exchange, has a cooldown of 3 hours, meaning he can only use it once within that time frame. Meanwhile, at the Korean Hunters Association, a meeting is taking place, where the Japanese Hunters Association has sent over some classified footage. The chairman of the Korean Hunters Association watches the videos, which show hunters being slaughtered by a growing swarm of ants. The numbers of these monsters continue to increase, making it an alarming situation. The chairman frowns and says, if the ant monsters realize their queen is in danger, what do you think will happen? Jinchul replies, ants can communicate with each other. That's why Japan is planning to send a jamming system to disrupt their coordination. The chairman nods, understanding the strategy. So that means, we'll only have to worry about the queen's guards. As the discussion continues, the chairman suddenly senses a strong, ominous presence. At that moment, the chairman asks, have you been able to contact Hunter Jinwoo? Jinchul shakes his head. No, we still haven't been able to locate him. Meanwhile, inside a military tent, two men are sitting together. One of them is Baek Yunho, a high-ranking Korean hunter, and the other is a man radiating a powerful presence. Baek Yunho senses something strange and thinks, what is this pressure? Who is this guy? The second man, appearing calm, smirks slightly. He is thinking that a small argument has begun between two other individuals, Choi Jong-in and Cha Hae-in. That's when it is revealed that the man sitting next to Baek Yunho is none other than S-rank healer, Min Byung-gu. Min Byung-gu chuckles and says, Yunho, you should stop thinking so hard. If you keep this up, you'll age faster. He then leans forward and asks, want to hear a joke? Baek Yunho immediately responds, keep your terrible jokes to yourself. We learn that Min Byung-gu is one of the few S-rank hunters who retired early. He had the potential to become one of the richest and most successful hunters, but he chose to step away from the battlefield. Things won't go well for that guy, and in the future, something really bad is going to happen to him. Honestly, I feel bad for that guy. Later, Min Byung-gu asks if Baek Yunho seriously wants to go on this raid. Baek Yunho replies that he does. Min sighs and reminds him of what happened last time. Baek Yunho, looking serious, explains that this is exactly why he has to go. He wants to make sure others don't have to go through the same suffering. He continues, saying that he has to do something, because just sitting around doing nothing wouldn't feel right. Min smirks and tells him to do whatever he wants. Then he adds that if Baek Yunho came here to recruit him into the team, he should forget it, because that's not happening. Baek Yunho says that he doesn't even know if he'll be able to return from this raid alive, so he thought he should say goodbye one last time. Min Byung-gu is surprised by this, and then reveals that he has been preparing for a teacher's exam, because he wants to live a normal life. He further explains that he received an incredible offer to become the leader of an elite guild and was also presented with several other tempting opportunities. However, he turned them all down. At that time, his hands and feet were trembling from anxiety. Finally, he says that he retired from the deadly game of life and death a long time ago. And you know how much I love stories, so I was thinking of becoming a teacher of the same kind of stories. Yunho smiles and thinks. They say normal life, but a hunter is not made to live a normal life. A hunter doesn't have any problem killing monsters, but still, living a normal life is different. After this, we see a scene of Jinwoo's mother, where he arrives at the hospital. He still hadn't given her the medicine yet. His mind was filled with countless thoughts. Will this medicine work? Or not? And what if there are any side effects? But the system had already accomplished something that seemed completely impossible. Like, just think about it, at some level, Jinwoo had started trusting the system. And literally, as he removes the bottle's cap, his hands are trembling. This is the same Jinwoo whose hands never shook while slaying monsters. But now, his hands are shaking. The emotions of a son for his mother, it's something indescribable. I'm sure you all can understand. Even I am very close to my mother. After that, Jinwoo finally gives the medicine to his mother. There is a mark on her neck, which reminds Jinwoo of a childhood memory. He recalls a time when he tried to bring hot water for his mother, but accidentally spilled it, and it fell on her neck, leaving a scar. The place where it fell left a dark spot, and his mother was in great pain. But even then, her first concern was to check if Jin was okay. Jinwoo still can't forget that moment. Even after giving her the medicine, his mother is still unconscious, and Jinwoo becomes very scared. Jinwoo's mom's condition was getting better, and Jinwoo was speaking to her, asking her to open her eyes. He says, please, Mom, open your eyes, because I was only going to the IS route because I believed that one day, a way would surely open up for me, so that I could heal you. That's why I became so powerful. He continues to request and plead, determined not to give up. After that, we see a scene of Gina, who is studying, but she steps outside for a while. Gina felt that the weather outside was really nice, but it felt a little strange to her, and she also felt a slight happiness in her heart. It was that unusual happiness, something that felt good. It had been a while since the medicine was given, and Jinwoo had his eyes closed, sitting still. Then, we see a woman sitting, and she says, Jinwoo, is that you? And finally, we find out that it's Jinwoo's mother, who has opened her eyes after 4 years. Jinwoo is completely stunned. His mother says, how long have I been asleep like this? Jinwoo tells her, you've been asleep here for the past 4 years. His mother asks about his health, and Jinwoo reassures her that he is perfectly fine. She thanks him, saying, "Thank you so much for keeping your promise." Then, she holds Jinwoo's hand and asks, "How did you get so badly injured? I know you must have suffered so much for me." And literally, Jinwoo starts crying on the spot. When the doctors find out that Jinwoo's mother has woken up, they are really shocked. One of the doctors says that the patient's family wants to take her home quickly, but they're unsure about what to do next. The head doctor replies that this is impossible since she won't even be able to walk yet. Another doctor argues that it's not true and that she's perfectly fine. Hearing this, the doctors are even more stunned. They start thinking that this could be happening because of their technology. The main doctor says that they can't be sure about this and mentions that the patient can't be sent home so quickly. A junior doctor adds, "Sir, we tried our best, but she didn't listen to us. You must have heard of the S-rank hunter from Korea. The patient is his son." Hearing this, the doctor is left in utter shock and the doctor says, "Fine, discharge her then, I don't want to get involved in all of this." After that, we see Gina, who is literally crying like a child. Her mother then says, "You've really grown up, my daughter," and she hugs her mother. And Jinwoo thinks, finally, the hard work I put in all this time has paid off. He's thinking this, but he's also worried because he's reached a place as a hunter where he can never go back. After this, we see Jinwoo sitting outside, checking his phone, and he has received quite a few calls. He thinks, if anyone needs something, they can just call me again. Jinwoo is also watching the news, where news about Kaiser is spreading quickly. Suddenly, he gets a call and picks it up. And literally, it was the chairman calling, and Jinwoo got quite surprised. He asks, "Chairman, is everything okay?" The chairman replies, "Hunter, you must know everything already." But Jinwoo didn't actually know anything. The chairman was asking about the ant monsters, but Jinwoo thought that the chairman must have found out about the Kaiser. Then Jinwoo says, "Chairman, can you tell me what exactly you're talking about?" The chairman realized that Jinwoo didn't know anything. After that, they called him to the Hunter Association, and we see the scene at the Hunter Association, where the chairman tells Jinwoo everything about the island, because a raid on the island was planned in 4 days. The chairman then says, "We'll need your help for that raid," and Jinwoo, while thinking, realizes that his mother has just recovered, and he wanted to spend some time with her, but now he has to go. And just as Jinwoo was about to say something, he suddenly gets a strong feeling. The chairman asks, "What happened?" Jinwoo replies, "I sensed something dangerous nearby. Is there a high-level hunter here?" The chairman praises him a lot, saying, "I didn't think you'd be able to sense that, but you've really grown stronger." Because some S-rank hunters were practicing for the upcoming raid, and even Japan's S-rank hunter, Goto-Ruji, was also there. Upon hearing the names Goto-Ruji, Jinwoo is very surprised, because Goto was a very famous hunter. Even if someone isn't a hunter, they would still know about Ryuji Goto, because he was extremely famous in Japan. The chairman then asks, "Would you like to join the gym?" After that, we see a scene of the gym where Yunho is fighting someone in his tiger form. The opponent he is fighting is wearing a karate uniform. The karate guy seems to have the upper hand against Beck, but Beck doesn't give up and keeps attacking. However, the karate fighter lifts Beck and slams him down effortlessly. He then says, "You should have done better than this, in my opinion." Beck smiles and responds, "You already know that defeating you is a bit difficult." Both of them resume their battle, smiling while causing destruction all around. Chairman and Jinwoo watch the fight, observing their movements. The chairman comments, "It's rare to see so many S-rank hunters gathered in one place." Jinwoo replies, "It looks like Beck might lose. He's struggling against his opponent." At that moment, Choi Jong-in joins in, saying, "You don't know this, but if Beck uses his full strength, his opponent won't stand a chance." The karate fighter, who is actually the leader of the Fame Guild, continues to press Beck, and I don't remember his name as it was quite difficult to remember Korean names. Jinwoo, curious, asks, "You said Beck isn't using his full power. What do you mean?" Choi explains, "There are too many people around. If Beck fully transforms into his beast form, he might lose control. He turns into a true monster and can't hold back his instincts." Jinwoo nods, acknowledging that he had heard about this before, but he had never seen it happen firsthand. Choi Jong-in then says, "Look around you. All of them are Japan's S-rank hunters. They'll be joining us for the upcoming raid. I'll show you their images one by one." Anyway, I'm not going to name them all because, honestly, their names are way too difficult to remember. But the one guy you should definitely know is Ruji, the most important among them. As we wrap up this breakdown of Solo Leveling Season 2, Episode 8, it's clear that the stakes are rising, and Jinwoo's journey is only getting more intense. With each episode, we see him inching closer to uncovering the true depths of his power, but the real challenge is just around the corner, the highlight of what's to come, the long-awaited showdown between Jinwoo and Baru. Fans of the manhwa know just how insane this battle is going to be, pure dominance, overwhelming speed, and a display of strength that will shake the entire battlefield. Will Jinwoo prove he's truly worthy of the title of monarch, or will Baru push him to his limits in a way no enemy has before? Make sure to stay tuned for episode 9, because things are about to get even more intense. Let me know in the comments how hyped you are for Jinwoo versus Baru, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Solo Leveling breakdowns.